Hey gang, I'm Fahaam, your financial freedom guru. Let's turn your dreams into billionaire success stories. Today, we're diving into the remarkable life and journey of Robert Kuok, a man often called the Sugar King of Asia. His story is not just about money, power, or influence. It's about starting from humble beginnings, seeing opportunities where others only saw risks, and building an empire brick by brick with vision, patience, and strategy. By the end of this story, you'll see that Robert Kuok's journey holds valuable lessons for anyone chasing financial independence, and maybe, just maybe, it will spark that same drive inside you. Robert Kuok was born in 1923 in Johor Bahru, Malaysia, into a modest family of Chinese descent. He wasn't born into massive wealth or privilege. His father was a rice trader, and Kuok grew up in a household that valued hard work, discipline, and education. But here's the twist: Robert Kuok's brilliance wasn't about being a straight-A student or a prodigy. Instead, his sharpest tool was his ability to observe, learn from others, and think long-term. He saw the patterns of business, the flaws in systems, and the possibilities hidden behind everyday transactions. That mindset would shape his entire life. After finishing school, Kuok began working in a trading business. The world at that time was still recovering from World War II, and opportunities were scarce. But scarcity is often where fortunes are made. Kuok started small, trading commodities like sugar, rice, and flour. Sugar, in particular, fascinated him. He noticed that demand for sugar never disappeared. It was essential in every household, in every factory, and in every market. While others thought of sugar as just another commodity, Kuok thought bigger. He asked himself, what if he could control the supply chain, not just trade it? What if he could move from being a small player to the man who dictates the price? That question became his mission. Step by step, Kuok expanded his sugar trading business. He built connections in the region, worked tirelessly to understand pricing, demand, and supply, and gained the trust of suppliers and buyers alike. By the 1960s, Robert Kuok controlled such a massive share of the sugar trade in Malaysia that he was dubbed the Sugar King of Asia. At one point, it's said that his company controlled around 10% of the world's sugar supply. Imagine that for a moment, 10% of the entire globe's sugar market under one man's influence. That wasn't just business genius, that was empire building. And the profits, of course, were enormous. But here's the secret behind his success: Kuok never put all his eggs in one basket. He understood that industries change, governments change, markets fluctuate, and no business is forever safe. So while his sugar empire was thriving, he started diversifying. He expanded into rice, flour, palm oil, and eventually into sectors far beyond commodities. This is where Robert Kuok showed his true billionaire vision. He didn't just stick to what was comfortable. He ventured into uncharted waters, investing in areas like shipping, real estate, and hospitality. Each move was carefully calculated, based on timing, relationships, and long-term potential. One of his most iconic ventures was the Shangri-La Hotels and Resorts chain. The name Shangri-La itself evokes a sense of paradise, luxury, and exclusivity. Kuok saw Asia rising as a hub for tourism and international business, and he wanted to create a hotel brand that could rival the best in the world. In 1971, the first Shangri-La Hotel opened in Singapore, and from there, the chain expanded globally, becoming a symbol of elegance and excellence. Today, Shangri-La is recognized as one of the leading luxury hotel groups in the world, and it all started with Kuok's ability to look ahead, to see where the world was going, and to build accordingly. But the empire didn't stop there. Kuok expanded into property development, creating massive real estate projects across Asia. He invested in shipping and logistics, ensuring that his commodities could move efficiently around the globe. He ventured into media, owning shares in the South China Morning Post, Hong Kong's leading newspaper. He even played a role in the Chinese oil and gas industry. Kuok wasn't just a sugar trader anymore. He was now a global tycoon with influence across multiple industries, each feeding into the other like gears in a giant machine. His wealth skyrocketed, and he became one of the richest men in Asia. Now here's something fascinating about Robert Kuok. Despite his enormous wealth and success, he lived a life of quiet discipline. He was known for his humility, preferring to stay out of the public spotlight. He avoided flashy displays of wealth, choosing instead to let his businesses speak for him. That's why many people didn't even know how powerful he really was until they looked into the industries he controlled. In a world where billionaires often love the spotlight, Kuok's ability to stay grounded and low profile is both refreshing and inspiring. Of course, the journey wasn't all smooth. Kuok faced competition, government regulations, and changing global markets. The sugar industry itself went through ups and downs, but his diversification strategy protected him. When one sector faced difficulties, another kept his empire strong. That's the lesson right there. True financial freedom isn't about one income stream, it's about building a portfolio that can withstand storms. Kuok's foresight in spreading his investments across industries is exactly what kept him among the richest men in Asia for decades. Today, Robert Kuok's wealth is estimated in the billions. His family continues to manage the Kuok Group, which is involved in everything from agribusiness to property to hospitality. He himself, now over 100 years old, has stepped back from day-to-day operations, but his legacy is etched into the business landscape of Asia. The Shangri-La Hotels continue to shine, his commodities business still has influence, and his investments stand as proof of what long-term vision can achieve. What can we, ordinary people, learn from Robert Kuok's billionaire journey? First, start small but think big. Kuok didn't begin with billions, he began with trading small amounts of sugar and rice. He built relationships, studied the market, and moved with precision. Second, identify essentials. He focused on products like sugar and rice, things people will always need. Essentials create stability. Third, diversify. Don't stay stuck in one lane, because industries change, economies shift, and security lies in having multiple strongholds. Fourth, live humbly. Kuok wasn't trying to show off his wealth with flashy toys. He invested back into his businesses, and that discipline created compounding growth. And lastly, think long-term. Kuok's success wasn't overnight. It took decades of patience, vision, and adaptability. Robert Kuok's story is more than a biography, it's a roadmap for anyone chasing success. It shows that wealth doesn't have to come from privilege. It can come from discipline, strategy, and the courage to take calculated risks. He reminds us that financial freedom isn't about luck, it's about smart decisions made consistently, over time. And his life is proof that if you're willing to think bigger, act smarter, and stay disciplined, you can build something that outlasts you and inspires generations to come. So next time you hear the phrase, Sugar King of Asia, remember it's not just a title. It's the story of a man who looked at something as simple as sugar and built an empire worth billions. Robert Kuok's journey is one of vision, resilience, and wisdom, and it's a story that teaches us all that financial freedom isn't just a dream. It's achievable with the right mindset and the right moves.